Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by Nate Weitzer. He's on the East Coast, and we're looking at player props here for 2025. First night, that we're coming back to you guys with these best bets and player props. Specifically in this one, got the player props episode. Also have best bets in a separate one, so make sure to subscribe to that page because we're bringing both of these videos to you each and every weekday moving forward throughout this NBA season. Nate, let's go ahead and jump right into your first NBA player prop here for Thursday night.
Yeah, it's bounce back Steph, some bounce back Curry. He's technically questionable with the thumb. I know you have that homer bias that you feel like they can't do anything right now. And Steph himself was like, yeah, we're decidedly mid as a team. But I've noticed a trend that as soon as he has a bad game, he comes right back and just lights it up. The last four after going under this prop, 28.5 points assists is where I would go. He's averaged 31.3, 8.5 assists. He's hit 27 threes in 4 games at nearly 51%. I think a minimum of 6 or 7 threes in each game, and over 4.5 right now is even money. The trend ended against Cleveland, of course, because, again, Kenny Atkinson knows how the sauce is made, and they just cannot get anything going against these Cavs. But, he still got exactly to this number in the previous game, so it's not like he was scuffling. And now you're getting, a double trend, if you will. After he goes 7 for 24 from 3 in his last 2, he should have success against the Sixers team that's on a back-to-back that's allowing 41% from 3 on back-to-backs, 15 threes per game, 115 points, mostly, doing well defensively against bad Eastern Conference teams. They are not that when they face a Western Conference team that's looked sluggish lately on offense, sure. But I think Steph individually is going to come out here and have success. Again, allowing the 4th most points and threes to point guards is this Philly in this last 7, and they are on a back-to-back.
I think you're spot on. I like the assists as well. I do. But I'm waiting for the Steph breakout game with the points as well. And I wanted to take it against the Cavs. I really wanted to take Steph to just do his thing, and I just couldn't because Kenny Atkinson doesn't know what the sauce is. Kenny Atkinson devised the sauce. It's his recipe. So there wasn't much that he could do there. I abstained despite how I was like, it's Steph. Steph goes Steph, and that's going to supersede any. Nope. Not when you have the defensive weapons with guys like Okoro and Strus also back and healthy. You've got a number of guys that you can switch with. You can double Steph, and that's what you should do right now is double Steph. But I don't know that you got the weapons here on Philly right now. Oubre being in there would be nice for Philly, especially as a wing defender to help out and bother someone like Steph. But with him not out there, it's going to be too much Maxey and Lowry now, and that's going to leave the opportunity for guards against them to get theirs. So, yeah, I think this is a good moment in time to get Steph on against a tired Philly team that had to use a lot last night as well. So let me go over to Minnie in Boston again. Take Ant Edwards on the threes. It feels like a trap. It's so silly, but I don't care because the numbers still just belie that this is a good bet for Ant to hit 4 threes, plus 130 on BetMGM. This really comes down to a little bit of the stuff I talked about in the video, but they're going to let Ant. That's what they do. That's what Boston does. They let Ant do him. They let Jalen Brunson do him. Sometimes they let Tyrese Halliburton do him, but it's all orchestrated so that you're not allowing that person to get the dimes off. You're not allowing them to start getting an imbalance in the offense. They're never going to be off balance. They're just going to get beat one-on-one sometimes. And there's no shame in getting beat by Ant Edwards one-on-one sometimes, especially off the 3, where he is 4th in the league in pull-up 3-point attempts, right? 7 per game, making almost 3 of them. And there's only a handful, like Luka, LaMelo, and one more person actually Tatum as well, are the only 3 guys who are taking more pull-up threes than Ant Edwards this season. And that's what it is against Boston. Against Boston, they allow the 3rd most makes off the pull-up 3 this season. They allow the 2nd most points per game to the ball handler in the pick and roll play. They also allow the 2nd most points in the ISO play. Those are Ant's two plays, and whether he wants them to be or not, they don't have an offense that can really orchestrate much else besides those 2 plays. Even against the other night against OKC, really couldn't get many open looks for their catch and shoot guys, and that's just going to be the same case here. It's going to be harder to get your catch and shoot guys open against Boston. OKC is leaving catch and shoot guys and really over pressuring the ball, and they still really couldn't get much movement and still relied on Ant to just sort of pull up and try to pull them out of things. But he's done this now a couple of times against Boston. Boston, dating back to last season, getting the 4+ threes off of 10 to 12 attempts in each of those games. Went 6 for 11 earlier this year as well, and it's just going to turn into that. That's what it turned into once again against OKC. Was, can Ant pull us out of this thing? And it shouldn't have been that, to be honest. They were leading against OKC, continued to rely on that. OKC turned off the valve for any catch and shoot stuff, and that was it. And that's what I think Boston's going to do as well, is they're just going to shut the door on any passes to the corner, any passes out of the wing, across court. It's just not going to be there for him. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Ant to get the 4 threes tonight, but probably not win. So if you want to do a little negative correlation, that's going to get you some juice for him to hit that with them to lose in the Boston money line there.
Yeah, because Drew Holiday's coming back for this one, or he was back in the blowout at least, right? But yeah,
he was good last game.
That'll force you to think twice about your operating inside the arc. I suppose that's part of the logic here. And yeah, it's a big time game, another national TV game. He did not get what we needed him there on Tuesday against OKC. But are you going to bet against this man twice in a row? I don't think so. I think he'll be fired up to compete against the Celtics, which he has in 3 straight, I believe.
Yep.
Like you mentioned. Also interested in this game, Porzingis 5.5 rebounds. It's like if he gets injured during this game, I mean, first of all, he has to play, otherwise you just get your stake back.
Right.
But if he gets injured in this game, that's the only way I think he doesn't get 6 boards. He's done that in 8 of 9 in a full slate of minutes this season, and he's going to be relied upon more here against Minnesota. So I might bet that. And just, if he gets ruled out, then I get my money back. But we'll see which end of the back-to-back he plays here. Second one is SGA for me, and not the points, sir, not the points against Tyrone Lue and the Clips. The rebounds and assists for SGA at 10.5. Nice number here, because we're looking at a last 8 stretch here where he's been pretty monstrous with the usage, 35%, still averaging 5.5 and 5 in terms of the peripherals, along with 33 points. Still grabbing 6 of his 10 rebound chances. LAC going to miss a lot of shots here. Books would say 103.5 team total. And they're allowing 53 boards in their last 3 because they just have not been gangbusters on offense. And then you look at the way they deal with stars under Ty Lue is like trying to build the wall, trying to get the ball out of their hands, and the numbers reflect it. 4th fewest points to point guards in the last 7 here, but 4th most rebounds, about average or above average number of assists. And SGA has gone 9, 9, and 8 in assists in these last 3 here, with 31% usage compared to, again, the 35% he's had recently. He's also had 16 potential assists in the first 2 meetings with LAC this year. So again, they're just like, get it out of his hands, make those other guys hit threes. And so there's definitely that's a huge spike compared to the 11.5 potential assists he usually averages at home, when teams are like, we'll live with him in the mid-range. LAC's like, no, we will not live. We grew this man. We know he does not miss mid-range shots. Like, he is going to torch us if we let him do that. So, like, let's see what else OKC has, because honestly, I mean, yeah, J-Dub can be that secondary scorer, but I don't know how dangerous they are if you can turn off the water on SGA's mid-range game.
Yeah, for sure. I love the assist in this game a ton. And I have no problem with the boards as well. I mean, it's funny because OKC is kind of bad at limiting boards to guards in a lot of cases, but like this is SGA coming in and knowing that he's going to need to help out in that sense is where I'd be at. I think LAC is going to play them tough. I really, really do. And I think with the matchup, like you're saying here for SGA, probably going to get some Derrick Jones Jr. Like that's kind of the luxury in a way of playing against a team that's not playing a true even 4, right? Like J-Dub, not really a true 4, and is guarding 4s on the starting lineup on the other team, which is a reason why you're not going to be a very good rebounding team. So, yeah, I think we're going to see Zoo and Hartenstein just beat the crap out of each other. And then you're going to see other guys have to come in and help out on the boards. SGA is going to be the second or third option after Hartenstein as best rebounder when he's out on the floor alongside a guy like J-Dub, and then maybe some Kenrich. But Kenrich Williams comes out in for Hartenstein, and then you actually have SGA move up the ladder there as one of the better rebounders. So, yeah, I think adding the rebounds is fine in a situation where he's going to have to come in and pick up some of the slack for Zoo boxing out 3 dudes at once as maybe the best offensive rebounder in the league this season. I love Zubac so much. All right, let me go over to my fellow countrymen to end it here. We haven't talked about this man too much yet. Too many times, I should have said. Toumani Camara, plus 120 for over 5.5 rebounds. Like I said, fellow Belgian. This man played on the Belgian national team. Love his game. Love the fact that we have something to hold on to here and pinpoint in the schedule and go, why is Toumani Camara in the last 8 games upped his rebounding to 13.1 rebound chances per game, in addition to 8.3 rebounds per game for this dude on Portland, which is going to go under the radar all the time. I don't know that anybody outside of the city of Portland is watching Portland basketball or staying up to watch it. So you wouldn't really know about this. But Thibault has been out for 8 games. And that was one of the main competitor for minutes for Toumani Camara as someone who is a really good 3-and-D guy, but so much better of a rebounder than Matisse Thybulle is. And Thibault's not even that bad of a rebounder. It's just this is a dude who has taken upon himself to clearly be the 4. Right. And now Jeremy Grant is out as well. Jeremy Grant hasn't really eaten into his rebounding. He is a piss poor rebounder for somebody that's 6'10". As one of the guys I know says, big for no reason. That's kind of how I look at Jeremy Grant sometimes. Maybe big so he can get off his corner 3 shot. But for Toumani, like, he's definitely coming in, guarding guys a little bit closer to the baseline, and doing a better job on the offensive boards as well. When he is standing out there on the 3-point line, if he's not getting that 3 look from the corner, he's running in to get involved in the scrap heap there on the offensive rebounding. And it's actually insane to see his rebound chance success percentage as well, up at about 62%, which, for context, the leader on the season is Giannis at like 65.5% of his rebound chances, which is also by design because people are just letting Giannis get it so he can get out into the fast break and go. Stuff we've talked about with guys like him and Luka Doncic, also very high rebound chance percentage because that's who they want to get the ball. Toumani's just going in and getting it and then finding whoever he can on the outlet pass. But most importantly, the rebound chances and the desire to go get the ball here against a Lakers team that, like, I think AD is going to play. He's always questionable, but with AD out there, you're talking about him and Ayton battling each other. Then Donovan Clingan will come in as well, and maybe even some Rob Will as well. But like, having centers out there to battle with AD allows Toumani to basically go one-on-one with Rui Hachimura, who is also a very poor rebounder for somebody that's like 6'10", playing power forward for this Lakers squad, averaging like 4.5 boards per 36 minutes for Rui. So not really worried about him. Once you put Toumani one-on-one with a lot of these guys, he's a better rebounder than them. So I'm going to continue to believe in that trend. Still 5.5 despite the 8 per game in the last 8, with a clear-cut reason for why, which is more minutes. He's up to 34 a game. So
yeah, Jeremy Grant's out tonight. Did you mention as well, right? I mean, So that is a clear path to minutes. And Lakers, somehow giving up the second most rebounds to centers, even though you mentioned like his other guys swooping in there. But in their last 7 here, it's been centers. They're at least going to save something in terms of energy. The Lakers, with Atlanta coming on the second half of the back-to-back here on Friday, and they just lost to Atlanta, so they're going to need more defensive energy, I think, for that one, and not really be worrying as much about Portland, who, like as we mentioned, isn't really that competitive right now. So I think, it's not going to be contested rebounds. That should be easy for him to collect.
Yeah, hopefully. And like I said, even if they are, he's been really, really good at compiling those. So yeah, the minutes also don't got to worry about a blowout for this dude. Like, second-year player, really need to continue to just showcase him and see what his value is if he's going to be a part of this franchise. That's what everybody's doing, is just auditioning or playing for their next contract because they're a veteran. And that's Portland right now. And this kid's going to keep bringing it. So that's all the time we have for you in Playa Props. Make sure you are subscribed to that page, though. Go ahead and check out the best bets we have. 4 more plays for you in the other episode. So until we see you next, happy betting.